The Apple MacBook Air, at its core, is an everyday computer for the masses. It's built for productivity and portability, and I see so many people using them. So today, I just wanted to take a look at this particular 2015 MacBook Air and tell you about why I think it's still a good computer for everyday use. So let's talk about it. What is up, everyone? Andrew here, back with a haircut and another video for you. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you all so much for watching. It means a whole lot to me. I really enjoy being able to share my thoughts on the things that I love, and that's technology, so thank you so much. And second of all, this right here is a MacBook Air. I have a feeling that a lot of people that see this computer already know that, but the one that I have here is a 2015 13-inch model, and I wanted to talk to you about it. So this particular body style was introduced way back in 2010, and it was remained largely unchanged until about 2018 when they redesigned the whole MacBook Air. However, I really like the way that this computer looks and feels, and it just has an iconic look to it. It's well built and it's portable enough for a bag or a backpack, and it honestly just works for the vast majority of people who are going to use it. The first thing that I like about it is just the overall look. Like I said, I think it's an iconic design for an Apple computer because right away when you look at it, you can probably tell what it is. On a side note, if you didn't know, I'm currently a university student here at Bowling Green State University, and I say this because I have seen these computers, these MacBook Airs, all over campus, and it seems like so many people use them. I think it's built mainly for reliability and productivity, and I think that's the reason why it works for so many people. So I just think that's really cool. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the design of this MacBook Air. The first thing that I noticed when I open it up, which you can do with one finger by the way, is the trackpad. It's not a force touch trackpad like all the newest models have. Instead, you have to click a little bit closer to the bottom instead of just anywhere for it to register a click. It's not really a deal breaker for me, but I just think it's something to keep in mind. Overall, it works great and it feels great to use. And next we move on to the keyboard on this MacBook Air. The keyboard is honestly so comfortable to use and it's really enjoyable, especially for long periods of time. It's not too clicky and it's not too mushy at the same time. It just feels really good. Next up are the speakers on this computer, and while I don't think they're going to win any awards for the way that they sound, I still think they sound pretty good and they get the job done, especially if you're listening to some music or a movie or a show or something. The sound comes out right above the keyboard by the hinge where those little air vents are, so it's honestly not super impressive, but it gets the job done like I said. Sounds pretty good. Right above all that is the display on this computer, and I don't think the screen on the 2015 MacBook Air is anything super impressive, but it definitely gets the job done. I enjoy using it. It's surrounded on all sides by some big silver bezels that don't look super modern by today's standards, but it still gets the job done. Those bezels kind of fade away when you start to use it for a long period of time, and I think it overall just looks good. Gets a little wonky if you're off center or kind of tilted to the side a little bit, but for the most part, gets the job done well. A fun fact about this computer is that it still had a glowing Apple logo on the back, which is just a neat feature that I think should make a comeback, and it's something that I really like. At the very top of this computer is the webcam, and I don't think it's super impressive, but it's nice to have and it's sharp enough for just video calls or anything that you need to do with it. And in terms of the ports on the 2015 MacBook Air, it has a few. On the left side, you get the MagSafe 2 connector for charging, a USB-A port, and a headphone jack. And then on the right side, you get a full-size SD card slot, another USB-A port, and then a Thunderbolt 2 port for hooking up displays or adapters or that kind of thing. So it's got everything that most people would need, including myself, so I think it's a good selection. Moving on to the performance of this computer, the one that I have here is a base model 2015 13-inch MacBook Air, which means that it has a 1.6 GHz dual-core Intel Core i5 processor, 8 GB of RAM, and a fairly small but speedy 128 GB SSD for storage. And if those numbers don't mean anything to you, hold up, that's okay, no worries. What it means is that it's not exactly a powerhouse by any means, but it's still got enough horsepower and speed and storage space for you to get the basic tasks done like word processing, media consumption, and web browsing. If you're doing any kind of photo or video editing on this machine, it's not impossible, but you're going to experience some slowdowns, maybe here and there, and some stuttering. For the most part, it's not too bad. But for the everyday user, doing basic tasks like watching YouTube videos or writing papers or browsing the web doesn't really come with any major issues, and it's pretty much a breeze. Applications open up fairly quickly and it's pretty speedy overall, and it still holds its own even 5 years after its release. It runs the latest software, which is macOS Catalina. Runs it really well, and I don't think there's any issues with it. Overall, I'm really satisfied with the 2015 MacBook Air and the way that it works. I'm happy to say that it does everything that I think it should be able to do consistently, which means, in my opinion, being a productivity machine that is both reliable and enjoyable to use on a daily basis. I think it looks good, it feels great, and it doesn't have any major issues, or it doesn't cause you to wait around for a whole lot of things to happen when you use it, so I'm really happy with it. And really the only thing that I'm concerned about with this 2015 MacBook Air is that it is probably closer to the end of its lifespan in software support than it is to the beginning of it. I think that it's still a really good computer, but I can't vouch for the amount of support that it'll receive in the years to come. Right now, though, it runs macOS Catalina pretty smoothly, and it should hopefully continue to be supported for the next couple of years. Don't know for sure, but that's my hope. And if someone were to ask me if I would recommend going out and buying a 2015 MacBook Air right now in the middle of 2020, I'd say, unfortunately, there are plenty of other options out there that are going to be better for daily use. But at the same time, at the time of its release and for the people who already have one, I think it was and is a great computer that's lasted for many years, and I think it'll hold up just fine in the years to come. And I'm really excited to say that I really like it. So those are my thoughts on the 2015 MacBook Air. If you made it this far in the video, I sincerely appreciate your support and you watching this far. It means a lot. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, let me know down below. I'd really appreciate that. Other than that, I really hope you all have a good day. Thank you again so much for watching. Peace. Vsauce. Andrew here.